joining us for this element of DPAA Short Connects. And my very special guest today is Kay Vizon. Kay is the Director of Media at Kroger. And Kroger, for those of you that I can't believe if you don't know, but it is America's biggest traditional supermarket group and actually the second leading food retailer in the country. They spend just under $1 billion in advertising a year. And Kay, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing real well. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Portland. Our business is thriving. Just couldn't be more proud of our team and how they are kind of weathering everything that is hitting our landscape today, as well as all the current events that I think all of us are trying to process in real time as well. So, it's a lot to tackle, but I just am so impressed by how everyone has really stepped up to do what needs to be done.
That sounds great. And I've heard about that. And in my not having nearly as much knowledge about Kroger as you, my sense is that it's always been a great customer-focused business. And as I understand, you're dedicated to purpose and the human spirit. So it seems that some of that sensibility, that sense of purpose, and the customer service is what enabled you to quickly succeed in this strange environment, or am I just guessing that?
No, and thank you for bringing that up, because our vision as a company is to feed the human spirit. And for those that may have seen, we launched a new brand campaign in November of last year, and it's all about fresh for everyone. So bringing the best of food and making it available to all is really important to us, and such a beautiful thing when the company vision and the brand that we stand for, when it just comes together in such a beautiful way. And then so I feel like as a company, we were really well positioned, to serve the role that we are now serving in our communities. It's a critical function, bringing quality food, making it available to everybody in all the communities that we serve. So, it's a situation where I feel like all of our teams have just really risen to the occasion and taken that vision and that brand message to heart and trying to show up for our customers, for all of our associates in the best way possible. And it just because it's such a critical need.
Sure.
And so, so for me personally, and I know for our marketing team and the media team, we play a supporting role, but it's so important for us to get the important messaging that we've got to get out there now more than ever to our associates as well as our customers.
And it seems that in addition to providing food and fresh food and customer service, have you also, in the retail stores, have you also put in new elements of testing or other community services for this time?
So when COVID first kind of came to our shores, I guess, we knew we had to quickly transform our stores. And then so create an environment where first off, our associates had to feel safe to come to work, and then just as important, our customers feel safe to come and shop there. And so we were pretty quick. I would say one of the first companies to put into place things like an effective kind of testing and safety measures. We were one of the first to install those clear barriers, at the checkout stand, putting in the floor decals to indicate, safe distancing for our customers so that they too could feel safe while checking out. We set up the early shopping times for seniors as we saw that certain products were being cleared off of the shelves. We knew we had to focus on the supply chain and distribution channels quickly, so partnering with those groups and teams to ramp up the volume of the much needed products and bring them to shelves. And then we also saw our customers starting to really shift, to shopping online with us. And so through our pickup and delivery services, so we knew we had to quickly ramp up capacity through those e-commerce channels. And so So it's just been amazing to me how quickly we've been able to bring these solutions to market.
Great to hear, an important public and community service that you do that. Kay, your role, maybe you can give us a little bit of a breakdown on your role at Kroger.
Sure, yeah. So me and my team, we are part of the Kroger marketing organization. And so I lead the media team in particular. So we're responsible for the media planning and the buying for the Kroger enterprise, all of our lines of businesses, all of our divisions as we go by different names depending on where you are in the country, as well as support of Kroger Precision Marketing, which is our media business arm. There is so much innovation. There's quite a bit of disruption. So it requires that you are constantly learning, you are constantly innovating, you are constantly solving for roadblocks that come up. And so, so to me, it's such an exciting job. It's an exciting time to be at Kroger. I've always had such an interest in really much more personalized communications, and how do you deliver that right message to the right person at the right time and on the channels that they are now using the most, which has been changing. COVID has now changed all of that. And so working for a company like Kroger, where we are so customer focused, customer obsessed, I want to say, and marrying that up with media as a performance channel, to me, that's a really interesting job to be done.
So you sound like you've adapted well, not only in retail, but also in switching up and adapting to different media channels. How about the marketing message? Has that changed during this period at all?
And so we did shift primarily to corporate related updated messaging, across all the channels where it made sense to do so. And it really focused around the implementation of safety measures for our associates as well as for our customers, making sure it was communicated in all the communities in which we do show up. And then so that happened for quite some time. And then, then I think as people settled into the new norm or somewhat new norm, it's always a changing, evolving norm
Right.
these days. We started hearing from our customers that they actually wanted to see more of the kind of messaging they were used to seeing from us. They wanted to understand how they could save money with us. They wanted to, hear more about the promotions that they had grown accustomed to and really enjoyed and appreciated. And so over the last couple of weeks, we did start to turn on some of our more usual kind of marketing messaging and also highlighting ways to save money, because that is what our customers are telling us. And so we've begun a slow transition to turning that back on across the various channels. But we're finding that we will probably continue to be much more closely connected with our community affairs friends, just because we're finding that so much of our communication is now interconnected. And the more we communicate that messaging in a coordinated way, the better job we're doing to get those messages out, both to our customers and our associates. Our focus now is just making sure that our messages are timely, that they're relevant, that they are authentic, and that they are in the right context, given whatever is happening in our communities on a day-to-day basis.
Very thoughtful. So you've adjusted your channels, you've adjusted your marketing messaging, and then you're coming back to being customer responsive, which is great. And would you say your overall spend is about the same as this time last year? Have evidently a lot of companies have cut back, but your business continues to go well. So where would you say your overarching spend exists today?
Yeah, I would say we've been fortunate in that we've actually been able to grow our marketing spend.
Excellent.
And there's justification for it because we are a critical provider of food,
right,
for the country. So it's a huge commitment on our part to ensure that important information is pushed to our customers and associates on on those media channels that they can be found. And so what we've had to do, though, is we've made a very concerted effort, and will continue to do so, to continually modify our media mix, because we know that our customers' media consumption habits have had to change during this time. So we're paying very close attention to that, and then we are making those optimizations almost on the fly, ongoing, and we expect to continue to do so through the rest of this year and possibly into next year.
What we found in the out-of-home world is where out-of-home traditionally was very good at reach and impact and branding. Now, because of all the metrics and the programmatic and the mobile data and all of the elements, that out-of-home has been able to operate not only at the top of the marketing funnel, but also down to consideration, action, purchase, sale, and impact. What has been your experience with out-of-home? And I know you've had some great experience with Lamar and the very talented Ian Dallimore, amongst other superstars in the industry. What's been your experience kind of today, and or maybe a bit of yesterday, today, and tomorrow with out-of-home advertising?
Yeah, so I would say Kroger, in our group in particular, we have been big fans of out-of-home. It has been a key media channel for us. Started with static, back in the days when you would, secure those fixed positions. Location was so important, and then just making sure you lock up that board and hold on to it. So I would say we had really optimized, our static out-of-home showing quite well. And then all of a sudden, when digital out-of-home kind of came, to being, I would say we were probably one of the advertisers that embraced it early on. And then so we went about and really tried to secure a really strong showing in our digital out-of-home in all our local markets. And, the scale at the time was limited, because it was taking time to convert some of those boards over to digital boards. But I would say we still maintained a really strong showing. What I particularly like about what digital out-of-home does for us is the flexibility, as well as advancements in targeting. And but the messaging flexibility, especially right now, is more important, I would say, more than ever. Because we are often having to change messaging on the fly, and digital out-of-home gives us that flexibility.
We've been at DPAA pushing digital out-of-home for quite some time now, and we are really seeing a total embrace of it. And it's good to see that you have early on embraced it. So you're in Portland, not quite sure when the office buildings will open up. What's giving Kay Vizon inspiration these days as you've been sequestered and quarantined?
First and foremost is I'm just inspired every single day by the people that I work with. And I spoke about it earlier on here in this session about just how people are coming to work with passion, with commitment to one another, with commitment to our customers, and just making sure that we're making the customer experience as best as it can possibly be. And so, and I'm seeing that across all the teams within the Kroger organization. So that's number one. And then number two, another thing is what's surprising to me is living and working through this pandemic from home, and just how my family has come together, and we've gotten closer to one another during this time. So realizing that previous to all of this, we had been living very overscheduled lives, and our weekends were full of, you got to do this, and you've got this whole laundry list of things you need to go do and see and whatnot. And we're just really enjoying being at home. Our gardening, we've got a vegetable garden here, and I don't know if anybody can hear, but there's the occasional rooster crowing here in the background, as we do keep quite a few hens, one rooster. So we do, it's forced us to eat better, because we're eating the vegetables from our own garden. We're eating the eggs that our hens are so gracious in delivering to us every day. And so it's just slowing down and being able to appreciate one another and life and the time that we have. That is a source of inspiration for me every single day.
Hey, that's so great. You've really embraced the gratitude that is so important now to realize what we have. And, maybe it's good to slow down a bit. I sit here in the office all day and it's incredible. I don't know if I'm more sensitized to it because I've got a bit of a different pace or the air is cleaner, but I see these amazing blue jays and red cardinals and birds. And I've seen hawks come by this window. And it's kind of, we're a little bit outside the New York area, but not very far. So, the world is maybe, there'll be some good things coming out of this. I'd like to, at the end of all these, do Barry's 3 takeaways. And if I'm hearing Kay Vizon correctly, my top 3 today would be, 1, large companies can be agile. And you have really shifted in your advertising and your media spend, your media channels, and also in the retail experience. So large companies can be agile. That's a great model for the rest of American and global companies that have a tough time shifting when needed. So large companies can be agile, number 1. Number 2, I like that you say, and I'm going to say it again, embrace digital out of home for all the reasons of flexibility and the digitization. And 3rd, which Kroger has done so well, and that's feed the human spirit. And you're feeding the human spirit in terms of your customers, your employees, your teams, your staff. And you fed a bit of my spirit today, Kay. So I want to thank you for that. You're inspiring to me.
Good. I am going to make an add to your top 3 and something that I did not mention, but I think is important for this group to hear is Kroger is putting out there a blueprint as to what are the things that we have found to work well and making it available to all. So for all companies to understand what it takes to open up safely, what are those things that you can put in place? And so we are continuing to add to that blueprint, and it is on our website. So if there are any folks out there that are looking for that kind of guidance and looking for some extra tips, just really appreciate how Kroger has taken that role and is just, it's feeding the human spirit more globally, and so recognizing now is not the time to hold back on information on things that'll actually help us get back to a new normal, and one that'll help to also grow the economy as well.
It's incredibly important, and we will amplify that to all of our distribution as well. So good to hear you say that, and indeed a pleasure, Kay. Thank you so much for joining us on DPAA Short Connects today.
Thanks so much, Barry. This was a lot of fun.